My name is Frederick Lasky, and I'm the Executive Director of the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, the MWRA. And I'm here today to announce, in cooperation with the City of Waltham, a major initiative to deal with what is called the II program. And I think it's important to put in perspective that the MWRA services over 2 million people in 40 communities on the sewer side, and when you combine with the water side, we're up to 60 communities. But the wastewater side is what we're here to talk about, and again, talking about the issue of II. You may ask, what is II? It's called infiltration and inflow. And it is a very negative situation with the sewer system in many communities, particularly the older communities like Waltham, where the sewer system is anywhere from 50 to 125 years old, and during the aging process, those sewer lines begin to leak. And water, whether it be groundwater, which is the infiltration part of it, or inflow, which is storm water that occurs when it rains, the sewer pipes here in Waltham and throughout our district, because of their age and because of their leaks, fill up with quote-unquote clean water. And the result of that is oftentimes overflows that occur during storms, and it also adds to the bill that the ratepayers, in this case in Waltham, pay, because they're paying for the transport and the treatment of clean water. So we have a program that we're going to discuss here today that will provide an infusion, a substantial infusion of grant money into the City of Waltham that will help the city address and attack the II program. And Waltham has been leaders in the efforts to address this issue. There are also, by the way, not only for the ratepayers in what they're charged, but also in the environment. These overflows that occur because of the II are detrimental to the environment and also unhealthy and frankly affect the quality of life in the cities and towns that we serve, including here in Waltham. So we're here today to talk about a major new initiative sponsored by the MWRA Advisory Board, which represents the cities and towns, including Waltham, and the MWRA Board of Directors. So with no further ado, I would introduce Joseph Favallaro, who is the Executive Director of the Massachusetts Water Resources Advisory Board, which represents the cities and towns, and in that role advocated very strongly for a massive increase in spending to help communities like Waltham attack the II program.
I'm Joe Favallaro. I'm the Executive Director of the MWRA Advisory Board. We work very closely with the MWRA, but our role and our perspective is to help the communities of the 60 cities and towns that constitute the MWRA service area. One of the great secrets, which really needs to be spoken, is pipes in the MWRA service area are old, and they leak. And because of that, when you add to the fact that there isn't a lot of funding sources that are available to our cities and towns, the SRF, which is a state program, provides money for wastewater and water projects, but in reality, the need for these projects far surpasses the overall amount of money that's available. On the other side, the federal government, well, there isn't any money coming from the federal government these days, which kind of left us with, well, we need to address these issues, and there aren't any sources to do it. So with that, again, working very cooperatively with the MWRA, we've come up with an infusion of additional funds to help communities fight the issues of inflow and infiltration in their systems. We have just added over $160 million in Phase 9 and Phase 10 II grant loans. We've also changed the mix of grants and loans from what was 45% grant and 55% interest-free loans to 75% grant and 25% interest-free loans. And thirdly, and almost as importantly, we've changed it from a 5-year payback period to a 10-year payback period. And just to help our cities and towns get the work done, because every drop that they can remove from their system helps reduce their amount on their assessment, but more importantly, it's good for the environment. It helps clean all of these basins that need to be addressed. So that was the onus for the program, and I will now turn it over to the mayor.
I'd like to thank the executive director. I'd like to thank the chairman of the MWRA Advisory Board, and Joe has been working, as you have, for many years to help cities and towns. But what's most importantly with MWRA here today, they have a program that they help cities and towns with outward grants, with low interest loans, or no interest loans. Those three combinations help the local people the best. All ratepayers benefit, and that's what I think is very good news for Waltham ratepayers today. $2.3 million grant, we don't have to pay that back. $1.3 million no interest loan. That comes to $3.6 million to do the sewers in Cedarwood and Main Street area, in the West End, in Ravenswood. So we have a whole neighborhood who is benefiting from this. And that is a public benefit for all of the neighborhoods. And so that's why I'm very happy that they're here to present this check.
But this is pretty simple. We're the forgotten infrastructure, the water and the sewer business. We're forgotten. We can't compete with the transportation. We can't compete with the MBTA for big pools of money. So we're forgotten. But we're not forgotten when that infrastructure decays and falls apart and people have raw sewage in their cellars or have overflows on their streets, or the Charles River is polluted. And I think we have seen the economic benefits in the long run of the cleanups, whether it be the cleanup of the harbor. The fastest growing zip code in the state right now is the Seaport District of Boston, because it's a nice place to live, work, and play. The Charles River got an A- this year. It was a D- when this whole thing started. And here in Waltham, like many communities, there's decaying infrastructure, particularly on the sewer side, that's allowing the sewers to fill up with water that shouldn't be there, and the result is a negative impact on the citizens of Waltham in two ways. One, you're paying too much on your sewer bills because you're paying for clean water, and two, you have raw sewage either going into the river or going, people don't think of Waltham as a shorefront community, but you've got a lot of shorefront on that river, and into neighborhoods and whatever. So we commend the city for their aggressive approach. They submitted to us a package of projects that they want to do to directly address this issue. They have been doing it consistently over the years. And I know the mayor's made it very clear to me that the goal is to get out of the consent decree, but the only way you're going to get out of the consent decree is to fix the problem. And we hope that this infusion of funds will go a long way in helping the city reach their goal, because it's in everyone's benefit to eliminate these overflows, and the reduction and elimination of II is a critical piece to that.